All right, grasshoppers, it's 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. Excuse me, on Thursday afternoon. Once again, we are solo. Kind of like it being solo, right? Get to answer all your questions and interact a little bit more. Lost everybody. Everybody's faded away. Let's go through the list of guys we had. So we had Dave Maloney, Ron Duguay, Ron Gresham to start with. Dukes, they moved to Alaska, Mystery Alaska. Deb, how are you doing there? Magical creature, you. How are you? And so we lost Dukes. I'm just going through a recap of how we lost everybody. Susan Brooks, how are you? My antlers. Oh, you're so funny. You are just so funny. My antlers. Who we got there? Who's in that picture? You're Snoopy? Billy. Oh, geez, I thought I had enough of Billy today. Billy Ketchadidiak, what's up there, brother? How are you? You're on fire. So we're just going through the recap. Oh, in case anybody missed the morning show with Rich Gabberty, I have declared victory at the beach, Todd's Point. I'm educator in chief. A young man with his dog, probably about a week ago. I had to educate him that he needed to control his animal. He thought I was being mean. He said that I wasn't a very nice person. And so I've seen the last couple of days, and he keeps that dog under control right now. Yes, he does. Sees me coming, he goes the other way. So, educator in chief. Bruce Levin, how you doing there, brother? Lauren, you're here. Yes. Bruce. Lauren, I guess you get a kick out of the educator in chief. Is that what we're laughing about? Educated the dog and the human. I felt like, I felt like it was a real, I've done a good thing for mankind. I've helped that dog. I've helped the human understand, dog ownership better. Educator in chief, we'll call me from now on. All right. So the Rangers are playing a little bit better now too. Yeah, starting to win some games. Shesterkin's back playing his game again. Meantime, the Devils have lost, or hadn't won in 3, right? They tied. Well, they went tied. Good afternoon. There he is, the great one, the one and only. The man, the myth, the legend. Every man wants to be like him. Every woman wants to be with him. Doug DeVito. What's happening, brother? Thank you, Deb, for noticing that. Yeah. One person at a time. Yeah. It's a sense of like, when I see him controlling the dog now, it's just a sense of pride that I've done. I've reached out, went above and beyond to help others. Hail to the chief. Yes, sir. Thanks, Bruce. Bruce, yes. Actually, I've told this story many times. I guess I'm realizing how many times I retell stories. But my father, we called the chief. He was chief of the fire department. I'm going to tell the story again in case some people haven't heard it. So when we were playing, we used to, when the fathers would come in town, we'd bring them to practice rink at Rye Playland, and we'd introduce them, bring them to the locker room, introduce them to all the guys in the team. It's like my father's name is Don, so hey, it's Don Laidlaw. And Steve Baker, a fantastic guy, a really good goaltender. His father was a doctor. So he came in and introduced him, rightfully so, as Dr. Baker. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, except you're in an NHL locker room with a bunch of adolescents in there. So we started making fun of him, calling his father Doctor. And so every father that came in after that was then introduced as what per his career was. So my father was fire chief, so he was Chief Laidlaw. Thanks, Deb. You are one intelligent, thoughtful, kind human being. All good things to say about you. Love your stories. They never get old if I retell them. So it got to be funny. Like, I think it was Mike Rogers' father was, he actually introduced him as cardboard coffin maker. So he introduced him as cardboard coffin maker, Rogers. So it got to be kind of funny. So, okay. Ever since Chuba had those 2 fights and fired his helmet against the boards, the Rangers won. Yeah. Get a little mad. Good point. Yeah. He's a different kind of leader, right? He doesn't appear to be that vocal guy in the locker room to get up and make a big speech. There isn't too many of those guys that can do that. But he does lead on the ice, and that fire, they needed that fire. And they just seem to be playing. It's such a bunch of nice guys, which is great if you want somebody to marry your daughter. But if you want to win hockey games, you got to be a little nasty. Don't even start. Brian Duffy. Greetings from St. Thomas. The struggle is real. That's just rub it in. We're here where it's freezing. It's supposed to be raining later on. want to sit outside my back deck with the heater going and have a cocktail. It's Thursday. Watch some hockey. Oh, football on tonight too. That's right. Jill Solomon, yes, they needed something. Yep, they certainly did. Yeah, and it's weird. Like, they showed they've got the passion going. It's snowing where Deb is. Deb, where are you again? You're in Kentucky or something like that. Where are you? Can't remember where you are. But yeah, they showed that passion. But like a guy like a Mika Zibanejad, for example, it's just not his game, right? He's not that fiery guy. He's a great competitor and a super talented athlete. But Omaha, Nebraska for Deb. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, snowing there. I would love to watch a game from the Delta Suite just once. Well, you got to contact Gresh. I haven't been down to many games. They have me go do more events. They have Gresh more. He's the mayor, the Delta Club there. It's the Delta Club to watch the game. You're really just watching it on TV. So food's great though. Oh, the sushi is unbelievable. Ever since the Madison Square Garden bought Tao, the restaurant, oh, the sushi they have there, my God, it's almost as good as mine. But let's leave it at that. Deep in the heart of Texas. Is that where Bruce is? Deep in the heart of Texas here. Bruce lives in Texas. Oh, going to Dallas, Texas. I think it's January 7th and 8th. We've got a bunch of alumni going in there. The Dallas alumni has invited us in for, it's a game, but there's a whole series of stuff they got us going on too. It should be a lot of fun. Everybody that's Dallas, let me know. Let me see. Okay, I love you, Tom. Oh God, that's just every time we are. Let's get into the location thing. I like this. Middleton, New Jersey, in the house. The house. He called Rich brother today. He's in the house. Right, where do you live in Long Island? Got a nutcase home. What's that? Let me see. Yes, Ira, which is colder, chopped ice or ice cubes? Ira is where is he today? He's in Brooklyn today. But where do you live? You want to tell? Ira, Plainview, Long Island. He lives in. Jessica Danahy, how are you? You gorgeous creature. Where do you live, Jessica? Lorraine, you live in Great Neck, New York. Oh, and work. That's right. Where do you live, though? You don't live there. Did you see? Let me see. Did you see Ribs hit on Hornick last night? Looked like a headshot, but no penalty. Needs consistency. Well, I know. I really, for playing, maybe I really favor the referees. I think being out there, it's you're just never going to get it right. And now the league can always look back at it and possibly, and probably no better than I do, Susan, but possibly have discipline after the fact. But you'd like to see it always get it right, but I just don't think we'll ever. Jessica Danahy, you're in northern Westchester. Very nice. Snowing up there or not? Lorraine is from Yonkers. That's right. Who else? Dougie DeVito, you're in New Jersey, aren't you? You're a New Jersey guy? I remember when I first came to New York. So I grew up on the farm in Canada, went to Northern Michigan University. It's kind of like farm. Well, it's a mining town, really. So I'd never seen something like New York. I come strolling in with my cowboy hat, my cowboy boots. Dougie DeVito's in Union, New Jersey. Let me see here. I felt the same way as Susan about the Reeves hit. I did not see it. I'll take a look at it. I do. I think I don't know what you guys feel about the referee, but I think the referees do a really good job. I think the league, they do their best to make the calls correctly, make adjustments if they have to, change rules. I do believe though you can't have replays for everything. You can't review everything. You can't. I think you just I think about the fans and the entertainment factor and sitting around too much and debating things. No snow here, just wet from the other day. Yeah, Doug, let him play. Let him play. See, if Doug says that, then that's pretty much the way it is. That's usually gospel as far as it comes to hockey. Doug DeVito says so. That's just the way it is. Larry, did I tell you Larry Melnick? Again, he'll only communicate via emails, no text, no phone calls. So he sent me an email. Gotta be a week or two ago, kind of directing me to set up his travel schedule with Jackie. Jackie DiPiazza. They come in. Jackie, a wonderful person, handles our alumni events, and it's like I was working for Larry all of a sudden. Now I don't know if he had a few cocktails or not, so maybe he was under the weather, but that was interesting. So obviously I did not. I like it actually when he emails me and I don't respond. It gives me great pleasure. So anybody that didn't catch the early part of the show, I am now dubbed Educator in Chief. We declare victory on the beaches of Todd's Point. Yep. So the young man who said that I was not a nice person because I yelled at him about his dog being out of control, he now keeps that dog right beside him, especially when he sees me coming, he walks the other way too. It's just, I feel like, again, I'm just recapping here in case you didn't see it earlier. I really feel like I helped the young man. I've helped another human being. I helped a dog. I went out of my way. I was in tough love, but that's what was needed, and I sacrificed myself to do it. Same thing with the guys with the ladder I threw down the hill. I think things through now, and I think to myself, you know what? You're doing good things, Tom. Like they were not educated, those 10 guys, about quitting work at 6:00. So I educated them, and they're better people for it. Educator in Chief. Let me see. What do you think of Makar's comment about Igor? Said he is all about the show after he made a great win. Oh, I didn't see that. Wow. That's, yeah. The one thing they always say about hockey players is that they're too boring when they get interviewed. They don't say anything. And that is part of the culture. You don't want to say anything. Like that comment just is so out of like hockey players usually don't make those kind of comments. So it's odd, kind of good, I think. But let me see. Tell us more about the event in Dallas, if you don't mind. Yeah, you know what? I'll find out more. Again, obviously there's a game. The guys doing other stuff too. So I think we go in, I believe it's the Rangers are playing in Dallas when we're there as well. So I'll find out more details and post it. So everybody's in Dallas, we can get together. Love Dallas. Dallas is a fun town. Oh, I hope we go to one of those nice big steakhouses. I don't eat much steak, but if you're gonna go to Dallas, you got to go to a steakhouse in Dallas. Nice big charred porterhouse steak. Oh my God. Oh, did you guys see my pork tenderloin on Sunday? Oh, I'd cooked pork tenderloin a few times, and I guess I always overcooked it. I tried it in the slow cooker actually a week ago to see how it came out. It was terrible. I got it at Costco. You get the big bundle of it. So, but I then did some research and realized I marinated it in avocado oil and balsamic vinegar for a few hours, and then seasoned it up really good. Paprika, Selly salt. Season it up good. Put some. I got this Italian seasoning. It's all like Italian seasoning. Put that on, nice and good. Seared it up good in the pan. They get the pan nice and hot. Seared it up, and then put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Get it like 145. You want around but I pulled it out at 140. Pulled it out. It's a terrible way of saying it. Pulled it out. Oh God. So when I took it out of the oven, then let it sit for about 10 minutes, rest it up, cover it, put in a plate, cover it up with tinfoil. Oh my God. When I first tasted it, I was really surprised because I didn't cook it properly before. And I finally realized how to do it. So I realized when to pull it out. It's about pulling it out at the right time. You know what I mean? Yes, Dougie, you're right. I got to go order some of that beaver rub. Yeah. That is the big thing with cooking, right? Is pulling it out at the right time. Like you don't want to overcook things, right? So you got to get it out of there quickly. Oh, goodness. So, okay, what's going to happen this weekend? I want some predictions with the Jets and Giants. Jets are playing. I can't remember who they're playing. And then I guess, so Mike White is kind of hurt from last game. So they elevated Zach Wilson to the number 2 quarterback. So obviously if Mike White can't play, that's interesting, right? Because it was the other way around before. Mike White was starting and the other guy from Baltimore was the backup. So I wonder how he feels, right? Wasn't he MVP, won the Super Bowl and everything, and now he can't play. No, he's not even in the lineup. Let me see here. I also heard from uneducated experts that beaver rub good for muscle aches. Yeah. Well, Oh, goodness. What? Okay. Anybody tell me what I should be cooking for this weekend? I need some suggestions. Some suggestions. What I should be cooking. I hate that. You know what I did? I broke down at Costco the other day. I bought some frozen breaded chicken tenderloins. It's slightly breaded, and it's that. What is it? What is it? It's a panko stuff or whatever. Oh my God! Jets versus Kevin's. That's right. Jets against Susan. Thank you very much. Jets against the Detroit Lions, and the Giants have who do they have? M&Ms. You and your M&Ms, Ira. M&Ms. It's M&Ms. I know you misspelled it, but yeah. Panko is gluten free. That's right. Yes, panko. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, it looked like it. Like looking at the nutritional values, it wasn't that bad. A little bit of sodium, but not bad. So I figured I'd go for it. Just a quick meal. I could actually do it myself, but it's just quicker when it's frozen. I haven't done chicken oil. Yes, you're right. Some cilantro and lime juice. Oh, yes. Nice call, Deb. Nebraskan beauty queen. Exactly. That's what we'll do. Chicken. Cilantro, lime. Yeah. Maybe do... go with the baby potatoes a lot later. I want to get away from that. Maybe we'll get back on the sweet potatoes. I made sweet potatoes, sweet potato sweet potato chips the other day. I had normally done them in the air fryer, but the air fryer is so small you can't do that many once. So I put them in just a pan, dusted them up with a little avocado oil and some garlic salt. Oil and vinegar. How about salt and vinegar potato chips? Remember that? Man, growing up, I used to eat salt and vinegar potato chips all the time. None of that. I guess we could make that with sweet potato chips. Yeah. Let me see. Donna, how are you? Pork chops in cast iron with apples in the same pan. Wow. Some good suggestions there. I like that. How about some nice shrimp fajitas? There you go. Oh, great suggestions coming up here. I got to make sure I write all these down. So if we don't get it done this weekend, we'll do it the next one. Let me see. Yeah, sweet potatoes and black beans are good to go. Oh, really? I didn't know that. You know, I've kind of away from eating my hummus all the time. I found these sweet potato chips at Costco. They're pretty healthy. Or they're healthier. So my nightly little snack has become those. And I've gotten away from my hummus and carrot sticks and all that lovely stuff. And cucumbers. Oh, you know what else I bought at Costco? I bought bone broth, chicken bone broth. I've always been meaning to get that. They had it at Costco there. Very healthy for you, supposedly. Red snapper. I love red snapper. I don't know if I've ever cooked red snapper. Got to pull that out at the right time, too. You leave that in too long. Oh, chickpea pasta with turkey bolognese. Wow. Turkey bolognese. Yeah, how about that? Some great suggestions. Thank you. See, that's a meal you don't have to worry. Like you don't have to worry about pulling anything out too quickly or too late. You can leave it in as long as you want. Oh God, what are we doing today? What are we doing? Good stuff. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so there are also great suggestions. You know what? I gotta keep you guys have got to get on me. I keep forgetting to get on the whole dance challenge. You know what? I'm going to get, right after we're done the show, I'm going to call Taylor Harmon, the New York Rangers. She's the one who handles all that stuff. I just want to get permission that we can use the Garden of Dreams as our charity of choice. Lorraine, you're terrible. Let it simmer. Leave it in. Oh, God. Your minds are just off. Ira obviously doesn't know what we're talking about. He can't figure out the joke, so or else he would be chiming in here. Billy's speech. Billy's probably screwing seat there. Tonight is Garden of Dreams game. Oh, it is. Wow, cool, nice. Garden of Dreams. That's a great charity. They do a lot of good stuff. I've been to a couple of their Lust Garden event. I guess Lust Garden comes under the umbrella of Garden of Dreams. Oh God, the longer you leave it in, the more it will marinate. You women are just awful. I can't believe that stuff. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice to be on a beach just like what's behind me there? The picture. Oh, Dougie. Oh, she said, Kathy. Oh, goodness. Leave it in longer. Something we're getting older. Takes longer. Deb's this show has gone down the hill. Oh, my God. You don't want to take it out prematurely. No. Nobody's happy with that. Nobody's happy with that kind of stuff. It just kind of ruins things, right? You get it boiling to a certain point, and then you get it out too soon, and not good. Okay. How about the New Jersey Devils? Anybody watch the Devils? They haven't won 3 games, but they're the real deal, though. Like even the Ranger game that they ultimately lost in overtime, they're a good hockey team. Ooh, really good. And I kind of thought that Lindy Ruff was going to get fired this year, but yeah, I know. Joe, I know. I apologize. I've lost control. And I don't know how those comments accidentally get up on the screen there either. Just like my fingers out of control here. Yes, they do have legs. I'm assuming I don't know what you're talking about there. You're talking about the Devils? Oh, yes, you are. You're talking about the Devils. I want to hear some good jokes. Anybody got good jokes? Good dad jokes? Like, what did the Indians say when the dog jumped off the cliff? Dog gone. The Devils. Yes, you're right, Kevin. You're talking about the Devils. Yeah. You know what the Indians said when the dog sat, or the Indian? No. You know what the Indians said when the elephant sat on his fence? Time to get a new fence. Mr. Larry on defense. Yeah. What else we got going on? All right, so you guys have to remind me about the dance challenge. We need Mel. Mel. I think he actually sent me an email saying he can come on today, and I intentionally blew him off because it's fun to do. We need Mel. What are you talking about, Dan? If you would participate a little bit, then it'd be better. Everybody else is participating, but you're just sitting there in the weeds. Come on, throw in your menu. Tell us where you live. Oh, Kathy, you silly goose, you. Oh, God. All right, who's going on vacation at all? We need some vacation advice. I may go. I want to go to someplace unique, like the Philippines or something like that. What do you think? I'll cut to the point. That's Larry telling a story. Oh, God, he does love his soliloquies. Okay. I'll buy. What weighs more, a gallon of butane or a gallon of water? Okay. I want to hear the answer. And they both weigh the same, right? Is it the gallon? Or maybe there's some other trick to it here. We're waiting. What weighs more, a gallon of butane? Daughter just came back from Aruba. Said it was amazing. Oh, okay, Aruba. I've never been to Aruba. I haven't really not gone to the islands that much. I'm really an island traveler. I was in St. Martin one time with my first ex-wife. Left early. It was terrible. That was even before we got married. Oh, God. I should have left her there. Yeah, I can't say that because I would not have my sons, water because butane is lighter fluid. Oh, okay. So the joke was, what weighs more, a gallon of butane or a gallon of water? And the water is the answer because butane is a lighter fluid. Lighter, get it lighter? Oh, yeah, that's good. Nice. Good job. Wherever you're on. Was there on Survivor? Well, it just happens that I'm not sure you're aware of this or not, but it just happens to be that I was on Survivor. Yes, season 39, Island of the Idols in Fiji. Got voted out 5th overall. Should have got screwed over. Played a fantastic game. Represented Canada, first Canadian player ever on. First NHL hockey player ever on the show. Yeah. The only thing my sons had to say was that I didn't have a big enough package. I should have put some sock in my shorts there or something like that. They were complaining I didn't look big enough. Seriously, we're watching the first show, and my My sons are getting text messages from their buddies like, "You thought I should have had a bigger something going on in his shorts there." I did the airport experience at Maho Bay. What's the airport experience? Is that the one where the plane flies so low, Landon? Is that what it is? Small banana. So when I do my smoothies, I have get these mini bananas from the little farm where I go to. Oh, yes, that's what flame flies low there, Bruce. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So I was telling about the small bananas I get from the great place in Portchester, New York, a place called The Farm. Really nice Korean couple run the place. And I don't know why I get a kick out of this, but like Portchester has a large Spanish population, a lot of Spanish-speaking people, Hispanics, I guess we call those. And so they've learned, rightfully so, to speak Spanish. And I don't know why I get it. It's so funny watching an Asian person speak Spanish. I don't know why that gives them so much pleasure, but yeah. Jet blast, yeah. Oh, what's cool on holding on when they take off? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so they get the. And why? I guess there's just no room there, so the beach is right beside the. I've seen those videos and everything. Yeah, so that's interesting. Where else I've been? Well, I was in Fiji, obviously, because I don't know if you know that I was on Survivor, and then we were in Australia for 3 weeks. That was pretty cool. Australia was good, although we were kind of cornered. Like they wouldn't let us go out and do too much. They did take us on some excursions. We went to Surfers Paradise. We stayed in Brisbane. So we, at the time we were there, we still did not have any phones or computers. So it was kind of limited to what we could do. And they give us no credit cards either. They give us I think it was like $50 a day in cash, and we can go to the grocery store. We're in a nice hotel, but the hotel had the kitchens and everything, so they didn't want us out. Again, they would take us out on events, but we really got a roll last week. I liked it. I went back and looked at the show about talking about motivation and all that too. That was pretty cool. About not giving up on your dreams. I had a good event. Went to that McKay Ice Arena on Monday. The North Park hockey group was from Manhattan, from New York City, was there practicing. So went on the ice twice. And then did a lot of the parents really were wanting their sons to sit and listen to some motivational stuff about how to, follow your dreams and, discipline and all that kind of stuff. So, great hockey players they could be. A rowdy bunch. Yes, the Aussies. Yeah, they're fun. So we were there for Australia Day. I think it's called Australia Day. So they have these. Did you like being off the grid in Australia? Yeah, you know what? That was is interesting. So had no phones or computers from the time we went to LA to go out there to Fiji until we got in the plane to fly back to LA. So 39 days of show. So like 45 days without a phone or computer. And when they gave it back to me, you just gotten so used to not using it. It really wasn't that big of a deal anymore. It was kind of a surprise to have it back. Then you obviously got to open it up and there's messages from Ira. I was actually saying, hey, listen, take the phone back. I don't want to see those messages. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh geez, more survivors. Yeah, what do you want to hear? Come on, Billy, tell me what we want to hear. I'll tell you all Survivor again. I don't know if you knew I was on Survivor. You probably had a different name back then. You hadn't really created that name, Kondratiak. Yeah, it's probably like Bill Smith or something like that. You just want to pretend you're somebody special. Oh God, yeah, but Australia was good. It was fun. I would go back there again, definitely. So we're thinking about doing a new show, and I guess I could talk about it. So this guy that's helping me produce, I've got a new podcast that I'm doing called Full Change, and it's more of a regular podcast where it's just the audio. He's my producer. He's been on Howard Stern show. I worked at Nickelodeon, really creative guy. So we're doing that podcast. We got a whole bunch of guests. So we get guys like Jim Kite who's on, really interesting guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jim Kite, big tough guy, played most of his career in Winnipeg. I knew he had a hearing issue, but it found out he can't hear at all. And he played in the National Hockey League I think played pro hockey for about 13 years and played very well. Like really, if you watch him play, you couldn't tell that he couldn't hear, but a really intelligent guy. His father and his 4 brothers, I believe, were all deaf. And he he was really, his mother played a huge role in his life. She did not want them getting babied. They would sit at the table for, sit at the table for hours because they had to pronounce things properly. She would not let them because they can't hear their own voice. So she'd make sure. So he did the interview with me. Obviously could not hear me. He was lip reading the whole time. So I had to move the mic away, and he got, the conversation was just like, he was just listening to everything I said. So really interesting guy. You really love listening to him. We've done a show with Clint Malarchuk as well. So the other show that this producer wants to do is we'll go to guys that maybe have like former athletes that have a dream, they haven't done something, jump out of an airplane or whatever it is. We'll talk about their life story, follow them around a little bit, and then actually have them go do the thing that they wish they had done many years ago. So that's going to be interesting. That show, we're talking to the league about that, the NHL. Let's see how that goes. Just saw the Flyers put D'Angelo on non-roster status for personal reasons, despite his messy ending with the Rangers. Listen, I don't know the young man, and I don't want to, but just the stuff that I've learned when you got these, it appears to be mental health issues. And again, it's an appearance. I'm not saying he is. I don't know him. I've talked to him one time. We were at an event together. So I don't know anything about him, but I've learned when people act out the way he does like that, there's something going on inside. Something's happened to him in the past. A lot of people think that there's, like addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics. They believe a lot of it, not always, but a lot of it goes back to some form of trauma when they were younger. I saw it where Craig Carton, that's on the radio show, he's got his radio show where he had to go to jail for gambling. And when he went and got therapy, it turned out he'd been sexually abused as a boys' camp when he was young. And that was the trigger to all the way he was acting. So, and again, I don't know the details of Tony DeAngelo. I just learned, and I learned from way back with Sheldon Kennedy when I represented him, and he came out about his abuse. He was not acting properly, and found out later, obviously he'd been sexually abused for years. So, and again, I don't know the details with DeAngelo, but it kind of makes me wonder that, why is he acting the way he's been acting? There's something going on there. So, any reason these guests will not come on this show, it is great. We can ask questions. Good point. You know what? They'll come on the show. Yeah, we just reached out to these guys to do the podcast. You know what? Absolutely good point. Bill, good point by you. Excellent point. Ira, don't say that about yourself. Wow, good job, Bill. You know what? Excellent point. You'll love listen to. So we've had, trying to think of the guys on. We had Pierre LaRouche on. So you know what? I'll reach out to him again. Who else we've had? Mike Hartman, Randy Velichek from the Devils. Who do we have? Clint Malarchuk, who's a great story too. I don't know if you remember Clint Malarchuk. He was cut in the throat in a game in Buffalo back in the 80s, I believe it was. And he talked about it. He thought he was going to die on the ice. So he's a great read. I won't tell, if he's going to come on the show, won't tell all the stuff that's going on, but he's really interesting. He's had quite a life in not all good ways. And he does a lot of motivational speaking now. Jim Thompson, a former teammate of mine, I've had him on here before, but he's a great interview too. What he's gone through in his life. Who else do we have on? I'm trying to think. Dave Maloney's on. I have a ton of respect for Dave. I've said that before, just the way he's led his life after the game, preparing for after the game while he was still playing. So, Joe, no, it's a great question. So we've done about 10 shows. We've got 3 more this week. Tomorrow we got 3 more shows we're taping. We got guys like Eddie Meal. Bill, the more I think about it, you know what? I'm glad you said that. We'll get out once I have one of these shows. Obviously, now we've kind of reestablished speaking to each other because we kind of get away from each other, and we'll have them on the show. It'll be great for you guys can ask questions. And let me see. But we did have Tim Peel on this podcast, right? Yeah. So we had him on. We're trying to stick with former players to start with. Reaching out to who else, like Eddie Mio, Bob Nystrom, Dennis Maruk. So really interesting guys that I really don't know that well, and it kind of makes it more fun because when I'm interviewing them, I'm really asking questions because I don't know. Obviously when I'm talking to Dave Maloney, it's different. I know his life story, so it's more setting him up for it. But it's been really cool having him on, and it's a very inspirational story. It's like you're really going to love the Jim Kite story. I was really surprised. because again, I knew he had a hearing issue, didn't know how bad it was, and realized the whole time he was playing, he couldn't hear. He's been the only guy that's ever played in the National Hockey League that was legally deaf. And, the things and again, his mother played a huge role in it because she never let her sons, including Jim, baby themselves, and she wanted them in the regular school. She fought to have them in the regular schools, not some other special school for people hearing impaired. And she wanted to make sure he was just going to lead a normal life, and he does. He's, in fact, kind of inspirational. You shouldn't say normal, above normal. He's a really inspirational guy. Let me see here. When we'll have a panel of 4 of your most brilliant listeners, so me and 3 others. Oh yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Sure, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Did you see the picture from Long Beach Arena? Yes, yeah, that was cool. So the Long Beach Arena, they named after Emile Francis, renamed it after Emile Francis, and they had Pete Stemkowski, some other older gentlemen that had been there. That was a elderly crew. They wanted to make sure they had. I'd never even met Emile Francis, ever. It was never around, so I really wasn't associated with him. So they wanted to have people there that had played with them or played for him. So Gilles Villemure was there. Steve Vickers, thanks Bruce. Yes. Andre Dory was there. Let me see. Yeah, Kevin Stevenson. Yeah, that's an interesting story what he's been through in his life. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else we've had. Again, we've done 10 shows. We're going to try to reach out to Donnie Murdoch. Don Murdoch is, again, really an inspirational story. Obviously, he had his issues when he played, but he's cleaned up his life totally now. I've spoken to him a few times. He didn't really, the old format that we did with the old show, we were having fun all the time. We was picking on people and everything. And he's really worked hard on his life and didn't really want, it wasn't negative towards the show or anybody else, but he didn't really want to kind of rehash in a funny way all the stuff he did. That was his past. He's cleaned it up now. And so tons of respect for him. Yeah. Let me see. Sarge looked great. Yeah, Sarge is good. Steve Vickers is good. Yeah. He's a funny man too. Any doubt Brian Anderson eventually will pass? Oh yeah, he'll pass him. Yeah. And again, I guess he has been hurt in the past, but he's been a pretty durable player during his career too. So I think they were doing the math. If he continues on the pace he's on, that another 2 years or something he'd have to play. Ira, where is it? Their name is Strip Arson. Yeah, I never really was a big. I'd gone to strip joints, but kind of. Let me see. I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars to watch some girl take her clothes off. Yeah, but it was a team bonding thing. Yeah, we. I don't tell a story because it involves a bunch of other guys. Yeah. Yeah. So this podcast, you're really getting a kick out of it. I don't know if we really planned it this way, but it's turned out that we've gotten a bunch of guys that really have interesting stories about how they got to the NHL, what they've done after the game. Jesus, I'm losing my mind about who we had on. Dave Maloney, Randy Vanderchuk, Clint Malarchuk was a really interesting story too. And I recommend anybody. There's a YouTube video of the actual incident where he's on the ice bleeding. And I recommend, if you cannot unsee it. It is not a pretty thing to watch, and it's the real deal. And he was telling us during the interview that his mother was watching the game on TV. So I want to give away the whole interview, but he was really interesting where he said everybody thought he was he was getting off the ice like the hero to go get help. He more didn't want his mother to see him laying there like that. He really thought he was going to die. And I really had never spoken to him. We're friends on Facebook. But I've always kind of wondered, like, what is going on in your head when that happens? It's a terrible sight. It's like, so, yeah. Ira Matthew, Bobby Annie. Okay, let's analyze this statement. Bobby Annie. Let me think what that means. Okay, is he going to continue? He's got more to say, and he just got tired and fell asleep, his head on the keyboard, or? I think that statement really means something. It's misspelled, diagnosed. Do we change the letters around? I just don't know. But maybe we'll find out here. Yeah, so that's what, you know what, Susan, good point bringing up Ovechkin passing Gretzky. So I don't know if you know or not, I played with Gretzky out in LA. He it's what those records that he has, like that goals record, that's one when he was playing. I thought nobody's ever going to beat that. So it's an amazing feat that Ovechkin, has come this close. Obviously, he's only him, Gordie Howe, and Wayne Gretzky. They're over the 800 goal mark. I had like about 775 to go. Oh man, can you believe I scored 6 goals my first year in the NHL? Then only 19 the rest of my career. Wasted. Yeah, Herb Brooks. Let me see here. USA signed jersey for the Ranch. Oh, last day. Okay, so you can go bid on it. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. So you know, I guess this is, yeah, I can tell us. So the idea was Barry Beck was to, I think Barry Beck and Mark's sister was to build a ranch in Mark's memory. But there's another clinic up in Minnesota that's already established. And I believe, I think I have this correct, that they're saying that one building now is going to be named the Mark Pavlich building. I think that's how it is. And it's primarily, so they're kind of taking that one building from the whole big unit that they have and dedicated to Mark. And then all the people hockey players and anybody else can come there and get help. So, but again, when you hear the podcast, Clinton Malarchuk will talk about it more. And really interesting guy. Let me see here. Let me see. How do you think the Rangers will do against the Leafs tonight? Leafs are a way better hockey team. Well, I've always thought the Leafs had a ton of talent, but they're playing way better. They've lost. Their goaltending has been way better than I thought it would be. But again, not that those two goaltenders, Sorokin and Murray, right? They've shown that they'd be good. It's just the consistency. And to this point, they've been very good on a regular basis. So they got that. They had lost like 3 of their top defensemen. But it's one of those cases where I really think it forced the team to play better defense. They're really good, talented team. Again, this is my speculation. I think Sheldon Keefe there is a good coach. I think when he's tried to get them to be better defensively all on, but their thing is so good offensively, they can get away with making mistakes defensively and still score enough goals to win. But again, as they've shown, that is not winning hockey for the playoffs, and therefore they have not done well in the playoffs. But now I think they've realized, okay, so we're missing all those top defensemen. We have to play better defensively as a unit out there, and they've done that. So in some strange way, losing those top 3 defensemen for a period of time may have been the thing that kind of put them over the top of a team that's can really do something in the playoffs now. So yeah, they've got a ton of talent up front. Shesterkin's. I'm assuming Shesterkin's going to play tonight. He's going to have to be on top of his game. He did that. He beat Toronto last year, I believe it was. I think Toronto had like 50 shots on net. He pretty much single-handedly took care of them. So again, that's going to be the story for every game they play. I think it's shown the tough stretch that the Rangers had to start the year that they are designed to be a run and gun team. Shesterkin has to be the world-class goaltender that he is capable of being, and they've got to run and gun. That's just the way they are. That's the way Jared Gallant coaches them. Listen, go figure it out and score goals. Good power play. Okay, I was going to clarify his comments. Bobby Yenny versus Bobby Nye. Oh, was Bobby? Oh, that's right. He's in love with Bobby Nystrom. That's right. I missed Nystrom's name. Yeah, Bobby Yenny. So I assume the Yenny was supposed to be Bobby Nye. Okay. Gordie Howe played for the Omaha Knights in 1945. Thank you. That's where you are. Yes. I did not know that. I did not know. I do not know what I do not know. Isn't that your formula? A team that plays better with their best player. Oh, Susan. Oh, so that's a running joke. I do my podcast with Kevin Allen, and I at one point somebody was out the lineup, and I said, well, maybe they'll play better sometimes when the top players are out there. The other guys know they have to play better. And this has been a continuing theme. And Susan puts fuel on the fire all the time. I don't know why she's like that. I'm so nice to her all the time. I just don't get it. But I still do. Again, in this case, yeah, I think. But it wasn't. I think it was more because especially the Toronto forwards, I don't think were responsible enough in their own end playing defense. And now they realize, well, those guys are out. We have to. We want to win. We've got to play better defensively. So now they've upped their game and still continue. Isn't Marner on like a 22-game point streak or something like that? So I went 120 games one time without getting a point, but I don't know if that's some kind of a record or not. Really? So this rink we're at is McKay Arena in Edgemont, New Jersey. Is it Edgemont, New Jersey? So it's got partially covered on the sides. Man, it was cold in that rink. It was Monday night. It was a cold night. Yeah. Let me see here. Yager played a pro game in Czech the week, 50 years now. No, they say he can't make Hall of Fame for 3 more years. That's right. Yeah. No, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. He's funny. Do you remember a few years ago when he brought some young girl home and they did their business, and she then took a picture of the two of them in bed together and threatened him and tried to blackmail him to get some money. And she said, I'm going to let this picture go public if you don't give me a certain amount of money. He said, fine, you're not getting any money. Post it. He turned out to be a hero. There was this hot young girl. I don't know what the advice she got. It really didn't work out too well for her, but for him, like he was really cool. I was just like, oh, yeah, go ahead, do what you want. Yeah, hero. Susan Brooks starting trouble all the time. That is amazing though. The Yager still playing. He was quite the gambler, I guess. At some point, there's stories I heard, anyways, that he had to keep playing because he gambled so much. Apparently, they would fly him into Atlantic City from Pittsburgh because he gambled so much. The casinos would foot the bill to fly him in. Great athlete, though. Great athlete. And I do admire him, I'll tell you, because you do get to a certain point where you start to get hurt and stuff. Where you just like, wow, the game kind of wears more mental thing. Well, in Ira's case, it's a mental health issue, yes. All right. You guys got any more questions or anything like that? Anything you want to do? All right. So you've got to remind me on this, the dance challenge. I've got to get on this. I'm going to call Taylor right away. And I was supposed to, we actually exchanged a text message the other day, and I was going to talk to you about it. And can't remember what happened, but all right, guys, we'll wrap it up then. Good show. Susan, thanks for stirring the pot. Everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Hey, and everybody, we had a conversation today about mental health. And during the holidays now, there's a lot of mental health issues out there as it is, but during the holidays, it gets even worse. So remember, there's that 988 hotline. And let's make sure we help each other out. And if you see somebody that you think is in need of some help, don't be afraid to ask them. Like, listen, do you need some help? Just show them that you're there for them. And if you are thinking about anything yourself, make sure that you call that hotline. Again, it's not just, it started off, I believe, just being a suicide hotline. Now they've kind of adjusted it that it's a mental health, any mental health issues at all. So let's make sure we take care of each other. Okay. Have a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.